New at 7, a Martinsville man accused of shooting his estranged wife multiple times is waiting to find out if he'll be committed to a mental institution. A judge declared Ricky Hairston not guilty by reason of insanity today. A report will now be issued to the state behavioral health commissioner within 45 days. The commissioner will then determine if Hairston will be committed or granted conditional release. Hairston's wife survived the shooting. The number of missing person cases here in Virginia has grown to more than 600. Now that includes children and adults. In an effort to remember the missing, a day dedicated to them will be held this weekend in Roanoke. WSLS 10's Irisha Jones has more about this event and what's being done to help provide families closure.
There are more than 600 people reported missing here in Virginia, and this table shows some of the pictures of the people that are missing in our area. Some of the people we spoke with today say they're still hoping to find their loved ones alive. April 7th made 17 years since James Walker went missing from a Food Lion in Bedford.
It's a constant fear that you might not ever know anything, not to be able to bring them home. It's a hard pill to swallow.
An event on Saturday with Help Save the Next Girl and Roanoke Police will help families of the missing. Carol Byer is also trying to maintain hope. She last saw her sister Joan Cook in 2010.
So that's another thing too. I didn't just lose a sister. My mom didn't just lose a daughter.
Carol and Bobby says they're going to continue looking for leads to bring their relatives back home. The Missing Persons Day event is tomorrow from 12 to 5:30 here at the Roanoke Police Training Academy. In Roanoke, Irisha Jones, WSLS 10.
Thank you, Irisha. Cleanup continues tonight after near historic flooding in South Boston. Business owners, employees, and even their families were out bright and early this morning working as fast as they could. WSLS 10's Coulter Anstat shows us the cleanup efforts already underway.
While these cars here behind me may not look like they've been damaged by the storm, employees at the business say what's under the hoods tells a different story. This is just one example of the damage businesses in the flood zone here in South Boston were not expecting to have to deal with. Inside Riverdale Auto Sales today, floors were being mopped, squeegeed, and vacuumed. Outside, cars were being checked for water damage. But Jeannie Morgan came from out of town to help her family members clean up.
They needed it. I mean, this was a mess.
Across the street, owners of Alexa's Closet are in need of help as well.
There's no insurance. We did start a GoFundMe.
South Boston's town manager estimates the flooding will cost the town several $1,000s. You can find a link to the GoFundMe page when you read this story at WSLS.com. In South Boston, Coulter Anstat, WSLS 10.
Well, if you think today was warm, just wait until the weekend. Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Hanowich has the details. We're talking hot. A hot 90.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, it's going to be humid too, so it's going to feel even hotter than 90 degrees. Let's head on over and show you that still we have a river flood warning in effect for the Dan River at South Boston until Saturday morning. By Saturday morning, finally, the Dan River at South Boston will fall below flood stage. Your satellite and radar composite showing that we have seen a few clouds around today. Otherwise, it's been mostly sunny. The bulk of the showers and thunderstorms right now from Ohio through Indiana and Illinois. A few little showers have developed in West Virginia. I cannot rule out the chance for a few thunder showers, say after around 11:30 tonight in areas along and north of Interstate 64. Otherwise, your day planner for Saturday, temperatures after about 4 a.m. are going to go up. We're looking at temperatures at 4 a.m. in the 60s. We're near 70 at 8 a.m., near 80 at 11, 86 by 3, and then by around 5 o'clock, even into perhaps 6 o'clock, we're looking at temperatures around 90 degrees. Overall tomorrow, we're looking at a nice mix of sun and clouds. Can't rule out the chance for a stray late day thunder shower, although most of us will stay dry here as we head into this upcoming weekend. Good news.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Well, President Donald Trump draws attention with new comments on North Korea on the eve of his 100th day in office. During an interview, he offered this prediction on North Korea.
Well, there's a chance that we could end up having a major conflict with North Korea.
The Secretary of State Rex Tillerson offered a more diplomatic approach, warning members of the UN Security Council it's time to ramp up pressure on North Korea.
It's likely only a matter of time before North Korea develops the capability to strike the U.S. mainland.
Now, Congress is set to vote on North Korea economic sanctions as early as next week. This as Congress passes a one-week extension to avoid a government shutdown. Meanwhile, the president will mark his 100th day in office with a rally in Pennsylvania. President Donald Trump visited Atlanta this afternoon, the first sitting president since Ronald Reagan to speak at the National Rifle Association's annual convention. NBC's Jay Gray has the details.
Inside, 14 acres of guns, gear.
Guns are not a scary thing.
And thousands of members of the National Rifle Association.
There's just everything to see. Anything, guns in America and just freedom. Second Amendment, I love it.
This is what democracy looks like.
Outside, large crowds that don't, exercising their First Amendment right to protest.
We are Georgia.
Many focused on President Trump.
It's truly wonderful to be back in Atlanta and back with my friends at the NRA.
The first sitting president in more than 30 years to address the NRA's national convention.
The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end.
Mr. Trump at times sounding like he was on the campaign trail, at others touting his first 99 days in office. And playing to a friendly crowd, including Catherine Ayers, whose 6-month-old daughter just became a life member of the NRA.
I think it's good that we've got somebody in office that'll support guns, and being here to say, yes, we are supporting the NRA and guns and people's right to own them.
And God bless America.
All right, the president today renewed his promise to protect. Jay Gray, NBC News, Atlanta.
New at 7, Congress will hold a hearing next week to examine airline customer service. This comes after recent incidents involving airline passengers. The hearing will look into customer service policies and issues and what can be done to improve flying for travelers. Those set to testify include the CEO of United Airlines, the Vice President of American Airlines, and executives from Southwest Airlines. The hearing is on Tuesday. Hundreds of local students and volunteers get their hands dirty, all for a good cause, how they're helping our community. More than 500 students and volunteers get their hands dirty for a major community service project. Faith Christian School selected Altamon's Retreat Center and Campground as its service project this year. The campground is getting ready to celebrate its 60th anniversary. The group painted, gardened, and more to revamp the site. Students say it's their way of investing in the community.
It's going great. We have kids painting bunkhouses. We have kids landscaping around the dining hall. I think being able to serve our community and really get a hands-on experience helping others, I think really improves the culture of our school.
Now, this is the 16th year Faith Christian has participated in a community service project. What was a big payday for many of our viewers through our partnership with the Virginia Department of Treasury. We found $190,000 during the Find Your Money phone bank. Some folks are having a great weekend. They're kicking off a great weekend. During the 2-day event, more than 29,000 of you called in over a span of 7 hours. Not only did our viewers get a nice surprise, but the experts from the Treasury Department say it's always nice to give out the good news.
When we found money, it was some of the best reactions. People are always surprised. It never ceases to amaze me. I think they go in and it's hopeful. It's like they're winning something, even though the money does belong to them. It's just they didn't know it was there.
They recommend checking once a year, and don't worry if you weren't able to get through on the phone lines. We've posted a link on our website, WSLS.com, that will take you straight to the Treasury Department's secure page, and you can check it out for yourself. Now we'll look ahead to stories that will be making headlines later tonight.
Just last week, Roanoke City Council denied a proposal for apartments in these woods off of Brandon Avenue, but just yesterday, developer Robert Fralin went ahead and bought the land anyway. Coming up tonight on WSLS 10 at 11, you'll hear concerns from people who live here about a potential development of single-family homes that could now be on the way.
Blue Ridge. Welcome back, friends. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Jeff Hanowich. A few little showers developing out across West Virginia. Looks like West Virginia will have the best chance for some thunder showers here as we head throughout the course of the evening, even into the overnight. For us, it's It's a clean sweep on the radar, but areas along and north of I-64 could certainly see a few thunder showers here, say from around 11:30 on. Without question, the bulk of the rain and thunderstorm is going to stay up towards Indiana and Ohio, but the southern tip of that storm system may clip us here over the course of the next maybe 3 to 5 hours or so. So Future Tracker showing that overnight. This computer, it's our homegrown model. It's called the RPM. Is probably the most aggressive with the rainfall here as we head, say, from 11:30 on. This is around 3 a.m. and virtually everybody's getting wet at that point in time. I think this is overdone by a little bit, okay? I think if you live south of Interstate 64, the chance for rain is pretty small. You head along and north of I-64, the chance for rain is higher. Regardless, as we head into Saturday, I think we're going to see partly to mostly sunny skies with only a stray thunder shower possibility very late in the afternoon into the early evening. The rest of the night, we're just partly cloudy. On Sunday, we'll start out partly sunny, and I think that's the way we're going to stay all day long on Sunday with a stray thunder shower possibility into the mountains of West Virginia, maybe even into the highlands very late Sunday afternoon. Race for the Cure going on Saturday in Roanoke. 3 p.m. temperature around 89 up to 90 by 4. Mid to upper 80s at 5 and 6. And again, a stray thunder shower can't be ruled out in Roanoke late Saturday afternoon, but the chance of it happening is less than 15%. So across Roanoke, certainly a lot more of us stay dry than have to dodge a thunder shower. 68 in Hot Springs, 76 in Wytheville, also in Blacksburg, 81 in Danville. That southerly flow pumping in all this warmth. Now, are we going to be in record territory tomorrow? Absolutely, we will be. In Roanoke, your forecast is 90. Same thing in Lynchburg. 91 is a forecast high in Danville. And if that indeed happens, we'll break a record high in Roanoke. We'll break a record high in Lynchburg. Keep in mind the old record high set back in Roanoke was established in 1915. So we could break that. A 100-year-old record could be broken in Roanoke tomorrow. And right now we're forecasting a tie for the record high in Danville. Winter weather headlines. While it's very warm here out west, it is cold. Oh, and snowy too. From Wyoming south into New Mexico, we have winter weather advisories and winter storm watches and winter storm warnings. It's pretty cold in the Rocky Mountain states, no doubt about that. For us, it's been a little breezy out there today. Winds right now anywhere between around 4 and 12 miles per hour with the strongest wind in Blacksburg. For the day tomorrow, we're looking at winds anywhere between around 6 and 12 miles per hour with some gusts perhaps over 20 miles per hour. Extended forecast showing highs around 83 on Sunday. Then on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're in the 70s.